Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Coins, RPGs, and more. Today's episode is going to be the third episode of our solo play of the Swords and Wizardry Continual Light series, where it's going to be the third episode for Addy. It's been a while since our previous episode. I do apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, real life and work tends to take precedence, and boy howdy. Okay, so, where we last time, Addy had just finished, or had been in the middle of examining a very interesting group of runes that had described, that had been in the ancient tongue, but she'd been able to decipher them. They said, if Brutus was here, where is Melina? And then, in the process of doing that, she'd happen to look up just as a giant rat came right for her. So we're going to resolve that one, and assuming she survives, this will be her third adventure, which means that she gets to level up. So, but let's make sure she survives our cliffhanger there. So the first thing, the giant rat got surprised, so he gets to attack first. Rolling. Cocked die. 5. Well, okay. So the giant rat comes right out, and she manages to just roll out of the way. She kind of just throws herself out of the way. It slides on the wall. And now we get to roll initiative. So, rolling for Addy. 6. Rolling for the rat. 2. Addy gets to go first. Addy is going to just quickly, she had a dagger in one hand, just turns around and moves back and throws the dagger at the rat. That's a 10. She gets +1, which is 11. Unfortunately, the rat's armor class is 12, so she doesn't hit. Now the rat gets to go. The rat's going to turn around. Comes right for her. A 17. Oh, ow. Oh, dear. For 3 points of damage. Addy's been wounded for 3. Let's go ahead and mark that down on our character sheet with our handy-dandy pencil. I'm going to set this one to the side. I have too many things. All right, handy-dandy pencil. Arrive. That's half of her hit points gone in one blow. Ouch! But now it's time for round 2. Time to re-roll initiatives. Let's see what happens, folks. First, Addy. 3, rat. 3, simultaneous. Oh, the last time we got a lot of simultaneous initiative, we got a dead player character. Let's see. Does Addy survive? All right. First, we're gonna roll for Addy. She's gonna try to bring up her sword this time. She's gonna try to attack that thing with her sword because she threw her knife. She doesn't have it in her hand anymore. That's a 2. Oh, well, you know what? I couldn't actually read that one because I had to pick it up on the table. So, it could have been a 12. Let's re-roll it. I don't know. There we go. Now I got my finger on it to make sure. That's a 5. All right, cool. Nope, she missed. Swing and a miss. Ah! The rat comes back at her. Yeah. Coming right for her. It's going to try to gnaw at her leg. Yeah. 4. All right, she skips out of the way, manages to avoid, which means we go to round 3 of this particular combat. Round 3, initiative Addy. 2. Oh dear. Initiative 1. I'm sorry, initiative rat. 1. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so now Addy is going to. She's got her sword in hand. She's going to be circling around. Oh, you filthy, disgusting sewer creature! I'm going to collect your tail. You're my ticket to big time. Apparently not that great of a ticket. She rolled a 9. Oh, okay. Rat's gonna come back. This rat is it's getting a little tired of this fight. It's a wild animal. They're not really, but it's gonna try. Yeah, one more. Let's see what happens. That's a 7. That's a miss. Okay. So the rat dodges out of the way with its attack, and now we're gonna go to the next round. So initiative roll 6 for Addy. 6 for the rat. Oh boy. Alright, Addy's gonna try one last slash with her sword. She's feeling a bit nervous. That blood's beginning to flow from her wound. She can feel it in her side. She just bites. Oh god, it hurts. Okay. 5 again. Oh. And the rat rolled a 4. Okay, you know what? This die is getting retired. Because that's ridiculous. Actually, maybe it won't get retired because I don't have another die close by. Ha! Okay, we're finishing out. It's the Oops game today. So they're circling around. The rat's kind of making slashes at her with his claws, making bites at her with his jaws. She's dancing around. She's got her sword out. She's fencing with it. This is actually a really cool image. This is a really neat fight between her and this big rat. This giant rat is like it's the size of a I would say a big dog. I mean, technically the book says small dog, but why would you ever do something small when it could be bigger and more awesome? So this rat is like coming up on its hind legs. When it comes up on its hind legs, it's almost as tall as her, and it comes at her. All right, so let's do initiative roll off again. That's a 4 for Addy, and a 6 for the rat. The rat goes first. Oh dear. That rat rolls a 6. It does not land a blow. Comes around to the side. Addy, this is it's a narrow corridor, and there's nothing really in this corridor that she can use necessarily. But at this point, she wants to change how this scenario is working. So she's going to try to use her cloak to tangle the rat. So she quickly just pulls her cloak aside in her offhand, and is going to attempt to entangle the rat with her cloak to make it easier for her to hit it. I'd say this is going to be a particularly difficult thing to do. It's not really covered by a skill, so we're going to call it a dexterity roll. She does get a +1 to those, but we'll see. That's a 2, but because it is a dexterity roll, actually lower is better. So, I would rule then at this point that she has dexterously thrown her cloak around the rat and has gotten tangled up in the rat a bit. So the rat's a bit tangled up. Yeah. All right, Addy. That's her action. So next we're going to roll for initiative for the next round and see what happens there, because now she'll get a chance to actually do something with this. So, first for Addy's initiative. A 1. For the rat's initiative. A 4. Okay, so rat's going to try to break out. Rat does not like being put in a cage. Ha, 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 ha. Or a maze. Ha, ha, ha. So, rat is going to try a let's call it strength, to break out of this thing. Now, it's a rat, so we're just going to we're going to assume strength of 10, basically. Average. Roll to 15. Oh, that rat does not succeed. So the rat, because remember, in strength checks and ability checks, lower is better. In attack rolls, higher is better. So it just, the rat is just caught in this cloak, which gives Addy a chance. It is now her turn again, and she is going to move towards this tangled up rat that can't get free, and she's going to attempt to coup de grace the rat. Now, I would rule that basically what it's going to come down to is an attack roll, but it's an attack roll that's made a lot easier because the rat is denied a lot of its natural mobility and its ability to dodge and weave, which is going to knock the armor class down from 12 to 10. So, Addy's going to attempt to thrust with her sword. An 18! Woo! All right, we did something. And then that's a 1d6 damage with the sword. 6. Okay, how many hit points did this rat have to begin with? So usually 1d6 minus 1 for the rat. That'd be 4. So she comes up to this rat. Just blood is kind of just soaking her tunic and one of her shoulders where the rat bit her. And she just kind of, you nasty creature. And she just bring her arm up, point her sword blade down to the ground, and thrust. And the rat is going to die. Now, unfortunately, because the rat was wrapped up in her cloak, that means that her cloak is now covered in rat, well, funk, as well as blood, and the mess from the the bottom of this sewer drain here. So the cloak is pretty much ruined. She has lost her cloak, but she has gained a second rat tail, which she okay. So she's got 2 rat tails now, and her first encounter with a giant rat, which did not go as well as she expected it would. However, because it didn't go as well as she expected it would, she's going to have to retreat. She's lost half of her health. So Addy is going to try to make her way back out of the sewer. Now, the good news is that there's not really a whole lot between her and the exit. She's done well in that respect. And there's no other turns that she could go. It's just a straight out. So she makes her way out of the sewer, a little disappointed. She's only got 2 tails, and she needs 5. So she's sad. But her donkey is there waiting on the other end, and so is the man that she asked to help watch her donkey. And disappointed, but she gives him the second gold coin that pays for his services of making sure that her donkey doesn't run away or get taken while she's under there. And Addy, gathering up what's left of her pride and her rat tails, makes her way back to an inn. And the inn, Addy is feeling pretty down at this point, but the inn itself is, it's a pretty, I'd say, let's see, what kind of an inn is Addy going to go to? Well, she's a bit hard. She's trying to be careful with her money, but she's also not necessarily going to want to go to the worst establishment. So Addy will go to a mid-range inn. That's fine. Let's see what kind of inn Addy goes to. I'd say, let's say that she goes to an inn called the Two Dragon Inn, or the Dual Dragons. So she enters the Dual Dragons, and this is it's a decent place. I mean, it's not spotlessly clean, but it's clean enough. There's a couple of tables. There's a few people, mostly workers, that are currently hanging out at this tavern/inn location. Addy stinks of the sewer. This was not a successful journey. Let's say that she's had a room at this inn before, the night before, and so she walks in, and the proprietor of the inn, a rather nice middle-aged woman, slightly overweight, named Deirdre. Deirdre looks at Addy, and actually, let's write that down because we just created that NPC right now, so that's what we have pencils for. So Addy has met Deirdre at the Dual Dragon Inn, and there we go. That's right, because we're making a permanent fact, so I'm not going to write it in pencil. It's going to be written in pen. So Dual Dragon Inn. The owner is Deirdre. Middle-aged. Sadly, middle-aged. All right. Middle-aged, slightly portly. And let's give her a streak of silver in her hair. Streak of silver. All right, so Deirdre takes one look at Addy and says, "Oh, darling, you're terrible. What happened to you?" Sewer rats. Oh, my goodness, you need a bath, my dear. So go upstairs to your room. Go on, go. Get out of the common room. You'll scare the customers. But make sure that you get a bath sent right up to you. You do wish a bath, don't you? Yes, I do, Deirdre, she says begrudgingly, knowing it's going to cost her money. Deirdre smiles and says, "No worries, I'll send it right. I'll have it prepared for you and sent right up. We'll even get you some hot water. The hot water will be free this time," she says quietly. And Addy smiles, like, thanks, and makes her way upstairs. So, one bath later, that's going to cost her. How much does a bath cost in this frontier town? That's a very good question. So, how I as a DM would run that is I would go to the rule book and I would figure out the average cost of items. So, torches, or a source of light, are costing us about 5 copper pieces. Let's say we're looking at a situation, so we can use torches like we'd use firewood, is what I would rule. Slightly more advanced version of firewood. And Addy, this is a nicer inn, but it's not, it's not too crazy. And this lady's used to renting out baths to people, so let's say that bath is just going to cost her 1 silver piece, $10. $10 for a bath in the inn, because the innkeeper's being nice to her. She knows she's a bit skint. All right. So that's $10. Or 1 silver. So she's now down to 8 silver. Then there's food. She's going to need a meal. Dinner, that's going to be another silver piece. And let's say something to drink. Let's 2 copper pieces. She needs a drink. She's going to have an ale, but she's going to have the cheap ale. She's going to have 2 $1 ales. So, all right. That brings us to 3 coppers, 7 silvers, and 7 gold, because she had to pay for her companion to watch her mule. So her money's going a bit down. But she makes her way back to the inn. Deirdre has one of the maids bring up the bath and give it to her. This maid is named, let's give her a fun name. Let's call her I don't know. Let's call her Udi. That's the name that keeps coming to my brain. So I'm going to use that one. This maid is named Udi. And Udi is she's not human. So Udi is part badger. Cool. She's a part badger type person. So she's got, dark hair with white streaks in the corners of her hair, but she's still relatively young. And we're going to write that down. Udi, maid. Uddy. Badger can. And Udi is she is going to be like most badgers would be. She's going to be a little quiet, but quick to anger. Quiet, but quick to anger. Maybe that's why she's not. She hasn't been able to find. Well, she's got a good job. Anyway, so Udi brings out the bath. Mistress Addy, I have your bath for you. Apparently, she stutters. Stuttering. Okay. And Addy looks at her. Thank you, Udi. I thank you very much. Just right there, please. And then I'll. Is the laundry service still being offered? Yeah, yes. We it's for what 1 copper for each outfit to be washed. Uh, Addy will pass her 2 copper coins and an apology because this is a lot more than the average wash would be. Udi takes one look at that. Oh, oh, and she looks at the 2 copper coins and nods. Oh. Udi takes it, takes the copper coins, she takes the laundry, and leaving Addy to take her bath. Sometime later, Addy is going to come out wearing her spare clothing, and she is, let's say at this point, her spare clothing is really kind of what she brought from home. It's not her adventuring gear, so it's going to be a bit nicer. Let's say she brought a rather decent middle line dress, something that would be owned by a young lady of a family that pretends to lower levels of nobility. Let's say, because her mother was a knight. So she comes out. She's modestly dressed in this green dress. Green dress. All right, and she starts talking with. She sits down, and who else? So something's going to happen here. Something's going to happen in this scene to further our story. I'm not sure what, but I'm going to roll on the chart for it because that's what we have the chart for. So the first roll is going to be a 6. So, consulting our random events happening chart, she's going to discover 1, an ally or colleague. Cool. So Addy talks with she sits down and she's working on her second cheap ale while eating the very basic porridge in this inn. It's very basic. It's kind of like a porridge / soup with a few vegetable chunks thrown in by Deirdre because she wants her customers to come back, and so she puts in good things. She's looking dejected, eating this stuff, and someone's going to come up to talk to her. Let's call him Rafe. Raifffe. Rafe. Or Rafi. Rafi. It's Rafi. Okay, cool. I like that name better. Okay, Rafi is going to be, he's not going to be human. Because that's boring. So let's do a quick roll. I've got the standard races. So if I roll a 1 to a 3, he's human. If I roll a 4, he's elf. If I roll a 5, he's dwarf. If I roll a 4, he's the halfling. If I roll a 5, he's a dwarf. If I roll a 6, he's an elf. So let's do that way. Yeah, I know I said I didn't want to be human, but let's be real. Humans are common. That is a 5. So that means Rafi is a dwarf. So Rafi the Dwarf makes his way over to her. Gives her one kind of look. Well, you sure look happy. And she looks up back at him. I'm busy. Right. So am I. I'm busy watching you be miserable. What the heck happened? It can't be that bad. If you must know, I had a rather nasty encounter with a giant rat, she says, pointing at the self-administered bandage on her shoulder. Now, if you excuse me, I wish to eat my food in peace. Rafi is now intrigued. Giant rat, you say? You're going down into the sewers, then? Ah. Oh, I see. You want to be an adventurer, don't you? What business is out of yours? Well, I also want to be an adventurer. I've managed to collect 3 tails so far. I wouldn't mind a helping hand to get the last 2. And if you help me get my 2, I'll help you get whatever you need. And how do I know that you're not some ruffian who's going to then just hurt me while we're down there? Well, you don't. But I swear to you, on the light of the lady, I won't. And she looks at that, thinks about back on the oath. Her family was a bit religious, so she says, very well. For tomorrow, a compact. We venture into the sewers together. And she spits her own palm, and they shake. Ally is found. So Rafi the Dwarf has joined us for the next adventure. And we'll have another video where we figure out who Rafi the Dwarf is. For now, it is about time to end this. So let's end with she's going to go back and get some sleep. And she will level up. So going from first level to second level, da-da! The most important thing is she's going to gain 1 hit die worth of hit points. So that's 1d6. Let's roll that out right now. 5 hit points. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's going to bring her to a grand total of 11. 11! Oh, this is great. She might actually survive a little bit longer. So, 11. She is... Let's see. Oh, and what else improves when a level 1 fighter becomes a level 2 fighter? Her saving throw goes from a... Actually, she's not a fighter. She is... She's a rogue. That's right. She still gets the 5 hit points. That's no problem. But her save goes from 15 to 14. And she doesn't get any bonuses to her attack rolls. So 15 to 14. That's something. That's good. All right, and that is the entirety of leveling up Addy. Just increase hit points, increase the save, and she's good to go. So Addy is a level 2 thief. Pretty good for her. Next episode is going to be about figuring out who Rafe is, and then after that we will have Rafe and Addy, or Rafey and Addy, venture into the sewers together for the first time. Thank you for showing up to today's session, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace be with you all. Bye-bye.